I'm going to go back to Gandhiji because one of the reasons that, my biggest influence in life is also Gandhiji. So what do you think about him influenced you? If you had to go back and say, for instance, there are people who said there was a Gandhi moment in my life. When that happened, I suddenly realized that this is the way I want my life to be. Poonam Butreja, who said, you know Poonam, right?
She's his husband.
So she talks about how she had read the book and his story, and she went on her own journey alone across India on the train.
I haven't done anything like that.
No, but I'm saying that, but then she had a moment
Yeah.
when she was struck by the fact that she wanted to be.
I think Gandhi was an ordinary person like all of us when he went to Africa. He was a lawyer. But that incident where he was asked to come out of the train because he was an Indian, that he discovered his extraordinariness. And I think the message he's given is that all of us have the capability of being extraordinary, but we don't tap into it. We are quite happy with our ordinary life, making not much difference to our surroundings, not pushing ourselves. But the minute you do, you can become extraordinary. And with this extraordinariness, if you are brash and showing off, and remember, you're also very ordinary. All of us have both this ordinariness and extraordinary. So when we are very not pushing ourselves and being ordinary, push ourselves. And when we are full of ourselves, remember we are ordinary. A balance is. And Gandhiji, for me, was that.
I'm going to share what we do a little bit. In the world, I know you send some people to our training, which the body of work which we created is something called being-centered leadership. Being is nothing but our soul, but at a more real level, a workable level. I can use that who I am to alter my behavior. I can use that to respond rather than react. It's hard work and it takes time, but it is very doable. And people are astounded by it. It's becoming now fairly popular. But the reason I want to give that background was that it also means my ego is much less. Because when my ego is less, then my soul can come up. If my ego is this high, my soul is this low. It's unfortunately the way it is designed. If I had to say that when I met people at Thermax, I saw soul-centered, being-centered leaders.
I think that's a very general statement.
No, seriously, when
I'm true. There might be some, may not be. I don't think, or even
I'm not talking about selfless leaders.
Mayor or me or are completely not centered. I mean, we are centered, but not centric, personal. We have times when we are selfish.
Of course.
Times when we are not.
Absolutely.
So, I found, I went for Vipassana after my husband died and I had to take over. And 10 days of silence, my husband used to say he'd love to see me quiet for 10 days. He had a lovely sense of humor. Made me realize many things. One thing is all the time pushing yourself down, comparing yourself. I was comparing myself with my husband and saying I'm no good. Now, you may say that's very egoless. Nonsense.
That's not egoless.
That didn't bring out the best in me, had no faith in my own capabilities. So when I realized I can never be Rohinton. So let me focus on what I can do well.
Best version of yourself.
My best version, whatever that is. Another thing I was very unhappy was the death of my husband. I was missing him terribly. But I realized it's inevitable. Three of us are here in this room. You didn't know whether I'll serve you lunch, but we all three will die.
Correct.
And what we don't know is when, where, and how. So if death is inevitable, we can't call it a tragedy. Because to me, tragedy is not getting along with people you care for when they are alive.
What a
Then
lovely
you're
thing.
full of guilt. I wish I'd done that. Just do whatever you can. Of course, there'll be a few times when you didn't do, but by and large, you haven't left anything unresolved
Undone.
between our. So to me, all these things and daily meditating, I don't know what it does, but it brings some calmness, uh, in my life.
So just
And it could be anything. There are people who go after Sri Sri Ravi Shankar or anyone. That doesn't matter. Or even perhaps pray. I'm not a religious person, but I don't know.
beautiful. And just clarify, when we say being centered leader or soul centered, it does not mean some Satyavadi or some holier than thou or some saint. It just means that you have the ability to be conscious, and at times you are able to catch yourself and choose the path that you wish to, which is not easy for most of us. And I saw that in you, in Meher, in others, many people, Narendran. Lots of the reason I am saying this is because I found a common denominator. People who admired Gandhiji a lot tended to be like this. That's what we've discovered in the last 70 interviews we've done. It's quite amazing.
I haven't checked with my people whom they admire. And I don't know
Well,
who they admire.
I think most of the people admire
But
you,
no.
which you don't want to look at, but that's okay. So suppose you had been born in another time, any time you wanted, any time and born as anybody you wanted, anyone, anywhere, anytime. Who would you have loved to be and born as?
You know,
And
I find
this
these
is
questions like saying,
fun
if
thing.
my mother had been my father, what would be? I don't know. I
Just
don't
for
know.
fun.
I'm very happy where I am.
So,
When I was young and newly married, I loved living abroad in America or England, the glamour, being away from in laws, all that, Today, I'm thrilled that I'm in India. So, when I was young, I was foolish enough to think West is
best
wonderful.
is best. So there is nobody you would have liked to have just as a lark, like Genghis Khan or Genghis Khan or Mountbatten
Sometimes I
or who
feel
knows.
it would have been wonderful if I had been born when Gandhiji was having this freedom
March.
and I would have perhaps joined, perhaps not. In a dream, I can imagine anything. Actually, it was a lot of hardship,
Very
a
hard.
lot of sacrifices. I don't know if I was ready for it. But as you say, just a dream,
Just a dream,
just an
yeah.
imagination. That fascinates me.
So I'm nearly done in another few minutes. Much of the development that we do in our life
On ourselves?
on ourselves is typically we go to college, school, training of all kinds. There's a lot of skill development that we do, a lot of capability development we do. And then you do things like going to Vipassana or meditation and other forms of inner stuff. What do you think is the kind of, what do you think one should start with first? And what do you think that would be a good balance?
I don't think you have to start from. A lot of times, something happens in your life and pushes you towards these programs of self development. If everything goes well, we are so absorbed in our daily living, we don't.
You don't even think.
I had heard of Vipassana years earlier, but I didn't have the courage to go there till my husband died and there was a blow. Then I went 4 times. And now I don't go. But I think when you are young and you develop skills, that also builds your self-confidence.
That's true.
That's required. Gives you an opportunity to earn well. I don't think you have a lot of self-worth if you're not doing well and all around you, your classmates. So you give out your best, whatever that is, really best.
Absolutely.
You learn many new things, constantly learning. So you develop your intellect, but only that may not bring you happiness, because after a while, how many houses will bring you happiness? How many times going abroad will give you happiness? How many jewelry will? After all, there'll be something lacking in your life. But I think a good blend at the right time, which should come, for each one they have to decide. I
Correct.
can't make a prescriptive thing.
So just taking the same question, but at the leadership level, that means not top leadership. In companies, would you think it's important to do inner work and outer work, or just do the inner work or only do the outer work?
No, only inner work, then we'd be an ashram.
Correct.
So that's not possible. When I went for Vipassana, I talked about it. I created a room where anyone who wanted could go and meditate, but nobody did. I wouldn't push anyone. It's up to them. My daughter went for Vipassana once. She didn't even find it difficult, but she doesn't meditate daily.
Okay.
So each pattern is different.
Correct.
No, I wouldn't ever push anyone. In
Right.
fact, my daughter says, Mom, I went because you never push me. You put off. If a lot of people talk, I have a friend who's been 7 times for Vipassana, and now she's following some other one. She keeps giving me books, talking about it. One day I told her, I said, look, the more you are doing it, I'm getting put off by it. I found my answer through Vipassana. When I need something, I'll come
go
and
there.
ask you. So I'd like my people
The same
to
choice.
decide. They have an option. If they want 10 days off, I'll willingly give them. I can facilitate their inner work if they want, but I wouldn't push it.
Beautiful. The last question, if this is intended to influence or provide possibilities for youngsters today, what would you love to tell them? Since you have a free hand to say whatever you like, what would you like to say to them?
There are many parts of you. There is the emotional side, the intellect side, the spiritual side. As young as you are, try and make a balance of all. Learn a little bit, in fact, learn a lot intellectually, expand your knowledge. Emotionally, learn to get along with people, with yourself first. Be at peace with yourself. And to be at peace with yourself, maybe you have to dabble a bit in spirituality. If you could do a little bit of each, you'll be happier. I think so. Or that's my experience. I wouldn't impose on others. For me, among my friends, not a single person has gone for Vipassana. And yet they're very good friends, lovely people. So the formula for being good is not Vipassana only. Not at all. I don't
There are many roads.
prescribe any one thing. They can do, be honest to yourself, and a sense of humor. I think for me, ability to laugh at yourself, at your stupidity, at your mistakes, I think that helps a lot.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you.